Thick fog covers the secrets of the Hungarian countryside. This land is at the heart of accusations of cronyism involving Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Are Hungarian oligarchs abusing their power, grabbing land and siphoning European taxpayers' money?
Scandal-ridden Hungary is in the headlines again. It's about major land grabbing. Well, I'm with Gabi, an investigator for the whistleblower platform Hadlazu, and I'm curious to learn, are leading politicians handing out precious farmland to friends and families?
Yes, indeed, this is what's happening. Let's go and see with the drone.
Diving deep into the dense Hungarian fog, we see land managed by the Prime Minister's friends. The drone discovers construction work at a 200-year-old imperial estate. Today, it's part of the Orban family's properties.
Hatvanpuszta is a property owned by the Prime Minister's father. And many people are wondering, where is the money from for such big developments? And why is it the government and their friends and relatives who get into position with contracts?
Gabi Horn leads us to land owned by Lőrinc Mészáros. Off camera, some Hungarians with inside knowledge call him Viktor Orban's frontman, managing undercover huge parts of Orban's fortune. Euronews asked for an interview with Mészáros, but was refused.
Almost all of this area here is owned by Lőrinc Mészáros, Viktor Orban's childhood friend, or the Prime Minister's family and their connections, business partners. It was often Fidesz, the governing parties, friends, relations, and people close to them who were able to get the land rentals.
The bigger the area leased or bought, the bigger the financial support received from the European Union. 80% of Hungarian farmers' net income is generated by subsidies, according to former Secretary of State for Agriculture, György Rosko.
Crony economy is a fact in Hungary, and there are friends of the Prime Minister who were positively discriminated, I would say. And they have access to different funds.
The government rejects the accusations, saying that the land redistribution is legal and that it's important to build up big agro-businesses in order to be competitive with Western Europe. But the redistribution of land leases in eastern Hungary has crippled some local farmers' livelihoods.
The friends of the Fidesz party got the land, unfortunately, and the so-called fake farmers. The real farmers, such as us, didn't get anything.
Those fake farmers do not have experience in farming at all. They do not even see the pasture. 90% of them don't even have animals, but they do not let us graze our animals.
Some locals tell us bidders were expected to pay some 2 million forint, about 6,000 euros in kickbacks. But Gyula Bui didn't have the money. When he took part in the tender, together with 2 experienced shepherds, they lost the bid.
Those who got the land were closer to the fire, had connections. That's exactly how we have to call it. I had 600 sheep, but they didn't care what would happen to them. Somebody told us the problem was that we didn't put a box full of money under our arms. That's why we didn't get our pasture.
Gabi Horn warms up in the kitchen of Erika Todt and her mother. In the 1990s, the family built up a dairy farm from scratch. In 2008 and again in 2014, the family farm got backing from the EU to stay competitive. But then their long-term leasing contract wasn't renewed.
These are the 6 hectares of our farm buildings, and they're surrounded by 170 hectares which used to be pasture for our cows. But it was taken away from us by someone else, so we can no longer go anywhere to graze our animals.
The family had almost 500 dairy cows. Today their number is down to 300. Without access to pasture, Erika Todt has to buy expensive forage all year long. Her dream of making a living with a modern family farm is under threat.
There were 3 gates, this way and on the sides of the farm, over there and there. The cows were able to get to pasture land. Our farm used to be completely surrounded by pasture land. My family was impacted heavily because my father became depressed. And a short time later, he died because of that tragedy.
The allegations over land leasing and selling procedures triggered a number of lawsuits. In front of a Budapest court building, we meet Katalin Rodic, who works for Greenpeace Hungary.
The land went to Orbán friends or the government supporters, and it became the country of huge oligarchs.
Eva Arch is director of the famous Kisántos organic farm, a case that's also been discussed at the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg. Until recently, Kisántos was one of Europe's most outstanding organic farms. But the land was taken away from the local cooperative and divided into 8 plots. Arch blames Prime Minister Orbán for having ordered an end to Kisántos.
We were attacked by a group of guards here in our own farm. They were sent by the state, and this organic demonstration farm, 452 hectares, was destroyed on that awful day.
We head back to Budapest. Gabi Horn leads us to the Atlatzú headquarters. The place is shared with other NGOs. A few weeks ago, right-wing extremists attacked the building. She explains to us some of the tactics used to grab land in Hungary.
Well, there's a limit how much one person can buy in Hungary.
Yes, there is a law about this, but you can also play around the law. And the way to play around is if you and your family members each buy some land. And moving to the next chart, we can see various interest groups around different oligarchs who managed to become rich as a result of public contracts because of good connections to ruling Fidesz or the Prime Minister himself.
Horn and her colleagues have won several awards for digging deep into the Hungarian fog, and they'll go on searching for the truth.